Hi everyone, and welcome to my review of Terminator Genisys whatever. I saw this in IMAX 3D tonight, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, I had no anticipation or excitement or really any interest to see this film tonight. Part 1, Part 2 of Terminator series franchise, of course, perfection. Even with its plot holes, perfection. I'm not going to go into much detail. I love those films equally. Of course, I feel 2 is better than 1, but perfection. James Cameron's science fiction masterpiece. Horror, action, adventure, you know, just perfection. I enjoy 3. I think 3 is a good movie, unnecessary, but good, simple. And Salvation, I don't want to remember it even exists. So with this new one, Genisys, we get most of this movie very interesting from the get-go, especially the first half an hour, which I felt was some amazing setup. I'm not going to go too much in the plot. All I will say, it was very interesting to see this movie series kind of take the view or the point of view from Kyle Reese. Of course, we got to know him first played by Michael Biehn, and I think he was in that movie that I don't want to mention at all, but it was kind of interesting to see his point of view of all this action, his relationship with John Connor and Sarah Connor and the Terminator, and his whole, you know, journey through his life and this whole experience. So we get to meet Sarah Connor, who's played by, you know, what's her name, Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones, and of course we get to see John Connor, who's played by Jason Clarke, no relation, I believe, to the other Clarke. Arnold Schwarzenegger, big headlines, he's back, first time playing Terminators, I believe, since 2003's Terminator 3. And there's this plot that goes back and forth through time, 1984, 2017, 2029, as all of us know about Terminator, who love Terminator. Not going to go in much detail because this plot is, there's just so much going on. What I love about the first 2 Terminators and what I like about the third Terminator is the plot is simple to follow. It's just that. It's pretty damn simple. And then the action and the dialogue and the acting, it just all seems to work perfectly in those first 2 films and somewhat in the third film. But this one just crams so much going on that I will say after the half an hour, which I thought was the best part of the movie, and I will say I like the film. I do like this film. But once we meet Sarah Connor and the Terminator, the film just gets really overly complicated to the point where I really just turned everything off and just said, please entertain me, show me a good time, show me some great set pieces, some great action. Of course, the trailer has already spoiled something about the John Connor part, though I'm not going to spoil it in this review, but if you see one of the trailers, it's spoiled there, right there. When that came to that point, I was like, I don't care. I'm invested for what's going on. Yes, it's completely insane, and someone was seriously on drugs when they created this story, but I like some of the twists and turns that kind of associates with the original films. I like some of the elements of the time travel stuff that's happening, even though I never really could honestly get it or explain it if I was trying to explain it to you right now. Just so much going on that I really look forward to the people that see this film and when it has a chance to be around for a few years, and someone who's really good at overanalyzing and dissecting a film scene by scene. I look forward to watching or listening or reading about someone's dissection, whatever, of this film. That's what I'd be really very interested in seeing now that I've watched it. Jason Clarke's fine. Arnold Schwarzenegger is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I like some of the twists and turns that happens with his characters dealing with past and present. Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese, it is some of the best work he has ever done. He's very interesting as we get to really get to know Kyle Reese and his struggle with this whole franchise. I thought that was really cool. I don't know if it's been done before because I'm trying to forget that one movie that I don't want to mention anymore. Maybe it was done in that too, but I really liked that we got a lot of this story through the point of view of the Kyle Reese character. I think Jai Courtney is great. Emily Clark, beautiful, gorgeous. Don't know if I really bought her as Sarah Connor. Sorry, I just didn't really buy her from the moment we got to know her to the moment the last scene happened. Just, she wasn't terrible, wasn't awful, just did not buy her as Sarah Connor. Now, there are probably 2 or 3 or maybe 4 scenes that I would say, no, that was stupid. You should have edited that stuff out. But other than that, from what I felt could have been, before watching this, a complete disaster, a complete waste of our time, especially people who are fans, at least of the first 2 films. I think everybody at least loves the first 2 films. They might not like the third, they will all hate the fourth, or someone might out there like the fourth, that's fine. But I think people who are fans of this franchise, I think you will enjoy this for what it is, as long as you don't think about it too hard. Because there's some interesting ideas that are explored in this film, and it was a lot of fun. It was entertaining. It kept me excited. I saw it in IMAX 3D. 3D was unnecessary, of course, but the IMAX picture, even though it was IMAX Diet or IMAX Lite, and the sound was pitch perfect and beautiful. It was great to hear, especially in the beginning where we get to hear the Terminator shooting sounds and all that great sound work that reminds us of the first 2 films. So I have to say the sound and the overall appeal of this movie works somewhat. It's a mess. The movie definitely is a mess, and it's all over the place. Yeah, it's definitely, there's lots of characters. It's too much going on, man. Where my brain, even though I turned it off, it's throbbing right now. It's really throbbing, where I'm trying to collect all my thoughts and explain them to you, and I don't know. But it's not a disaster. The thing about it is, this movie is not the disaster that we were all expecting it to be, especially from those original trailers. I thought it was going to be a complete waste of our time, garbage, unnecessary. I can totally understand people thinking this movie is unnecessary, but I felt like it had a point somewhat, even though it just really put a lot of stuff on that point. And we kind of like, okay, we want to get this point across, but you just throw so much going on in this film that I'm lost. I will say I was pretty much lost half the time, and thankfully I didn't think about it too much, and I just enjoyed it for what it was, even when it wasn't making any sense or characters were doing some stupid things. The action set pieces are very nice. Special effects is good. It's not state of the art. I would say Terminator 2 looks, the state-of-the-art special effects, even though it's, what it is from the 1990s, I would say looks much better than this film. But again, not a complete train wreck. A movie worth watching at least once. I don't know if, at this point, I don't know if I'll ever see this film again. I'm assuming they're going to make more, especially if it's successful. Stay during the credits. There's an extra scene. Just want to point that out. So, I liked Terminator Genisys. We get to find out what Genisys or Genesis, whatever they want to say, call it, is associated with the film. So that is explained for anybody who's worried. But overall, I liked the film. Wouldn't give it a high recommendation. If you're a fan of the series and you're willing to turn off your brain and know that this is nowhere near 1 and 2. It's not as good for me, number 3, but it's way, way better than the last Terminator film. Way, way better. And for that, I am going to give Terminator, whatever they want to call it, Part 5 or Part 3 or whatever, I'm going to give the film 3 stars out of 4. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. And also, please check out these amazing movie websites. And if you enjoyed this review, please click here to subscribe to my channel, and also please check out all my recent reviews right here on YouTube. Have a great day, live film, find peace, happiness, and harmony in anything and everything you do, and I'll talk to you at my next movie review.